Hello everybody and welcome back to Galaxy Taco, and in today's video I would like to tell you the story of my beloved dog Callie. She was a dog that I had since my early childhood. I had her since I was 4 or 5, something like that. She passed away like a year ago, maybe 2 at this point, I'm not even sure. But I just kind of wanted to share some events that happened. Some are funny, some are scary. Things like that. Because it's a video I've wanted to make for such a long time, and I just haven't been able to really get around to doing it, or really wanting to. I want to, but it's one of those things. It's kind of depressing and sad that do it, but I felt like I need to do it. It's a really good way to interact with people, all the people that watch me, and it's kind of a story that's good and bad in many ways. So anyway, enough of me just rambling on about it. Let me actually get into the story. Okay, so one big event that I would like to talk about that happened was when we had to get an electric collar. So the neighbors that live right next to us complained, and animal control came down. They told us we had to get an electric collar, apparently, so we got one. And from the very beginning of us getting an electric collar for her, I just knew something bad was gonna happen. I didn't like the idea of it, plus it was hurting her, and I love that dog. She was with me wherever I went. Walking down the hallway, she'd follow me. Sleep at night, she'd lay on my bed, everything. And what happened one day was we decided to give her a bath. Now, I think this was probably about a month after she's been wearing it, and nothing bad had happened yet, but I still just didn't like the idea of it. And we were giving her a bath, and then all of a sudden I noticed blood on the bottom of her neck, and so we start freaking out, oh my god, there's a hole, and then we find out there's a hole in her neck, and there's blood, and oh, it's bad. So we start freaking out. We call my dad, and we go to the vet. And well, actually, I don't think we called my dad. I think he was home. It's something I don't really remember about that moment. But we went to the vet, and oh man, they said it wasn't as bad as it looked. What we had to do was get medication, and we had to get some syringe thing, one of those you fill it up with medicine and pour it into the wound, and then you got to get a Q-tip and wipe it out. Oh, it was just the thought of that, and I could never do it. I watched, but I just couldn't do it. And then we went back to a normal collar, and she never had an electric collar or a muzzle, anything like that. And I felt pretty good after that, because it was sad and sucked because she had to go through that, and but I knew from the very beginning that was a bad idea, and I stood with it, and I knew it, But, so, this next sort of, a few events, because this happened, a few times, I love to, get on the ground, and, play with her and run around and stuff. But, this happened 3 times, and I think 2 in, 1 year and 1, the next year, and they were all within, 6 months, something like that. Probably, no, maybe a year, I don't know, in between that kind of area. So I was running around on the floor and jumping at her and stuff, and we were playing around, and she starts running, and I lift my head up. Her head flies into my head, and I start feeling dizzy, and I'm oh, and they're oh, okay. So we go to the hospital. My parents take me to the hospital, and they told me I had a concussion. So, they had to watch me sleep or whatever, or check up on me, make sure nothing was wrong and all that, make sure I wasn't getting constant bloody noses, things like that, concussion stuff. And then, that faded away. And then the next time I'm doing the exact same thing, running around on the floor at the exact same spot, the exact same way, I get another concussion. Same thing happened. I get some ice peas, put it on my head, then we go to the hospital. They say the same thing they did last time. Then they gotta make sure I'm fine. Of course, everything went fine. And then it happened a 3rd time. Now, luckily for me, this 3rd time, it wasn't as bad, and we didn't go to the hospital just because I didn't feel like I needed to. And I'm pretty sure, it wasn't as bad as the last 2 were. So, they watched me, make sure nothing happened. And, of course, nothing happened. Otherwise, I would probably be including that. yeah, but anyway, nothing happened and it was all good. So yeah, that's how I destroyed my noggin. Oh, I can't even say that seriously. Okay, so the next one we have, this was one of the scariest parts of this. Um, we found out that she did have cancer, um, and at first it's like I didn't really know what to think. I was a little kid, I'm like, oh, she'll be fine, right? She'll be okay. And of course your parents are going to tell you they're going to be fine, and they don't want to freak you out or anything. And plus they knew how much I loved that dog. And they didn't want me to feel any certain way. They just wanted me to love her like I always did and play with her in the normal way and all that. So but I would always, occasionally check, and I did notice that the lump would sometimes get bigger, like after like weeks and weeks. It was just like it wouldn't get much bigger, but it would get bigger. And it kind of sucked, because I was like, she'll be fine though, right? Like all that, like, because I didn't think she would actually, like, anything would ever actually happen to her. I was just living in this fantasy world where I thought, she'd be fine forever, or at least until she passed away of age. But I'm gonna skip a few events that probably happened in between there. So I'm gonna talk about the end, kind of when the last few days that we had with her. And this is the first time I've ever really talked about this out loud. Yeah, I can kind of feel emotions right now, but I'm just gonna fight through them, because that's one thing I did, and I'm gonna explain that in a little bit. So, all of a sudden we noticed that she started feeling really sick one day, and she was just laying down the whole day, and we decided to like feel around, and we noticed that it was burning, like it was just really warm where that spot of cancer was. And we noticed that over like one night it grew like double the size almost. So we're like, it's that time, like it's gonna happen in the next, like, either like a week or two or a few days, that we were probably gonna have to do something about it. And I remember she was laying there, and then it was one more day had passed, and we noticed that it was getting just too big. So we decided that the next day we would take her and put her down at the veterinary. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we after we noticed that this is here, we decided to comfort her and do as much as we can to make her feel comfortable and happy and all these things. So we're sitting there with her, and I'm just sitting with her pretty much the entire day. Get up to do some other things every now and then, but I was pretty much with her that whole day. And I remember asking, or I don't even remember if I asked if this is something that we did, but I think I asked though, if I could sleep with her out there, and we actually got some sleeping bags and we slept out there next to her. I'll always remember that, because that was a pretty sad and happy day at the same time. Like, it meant a lot to be able to hang out with her for that last little bit of time that we had. But it also was cool, in that way. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But it was really sad because, it's the last time that I would really get to hang out with her. So the next morning, we decided to take her. Oh, one little thing I forgot to include there was we actually stopped and got her some McDonald's. We got her some French fries and a burger and a shake, for her last day with us. It was really cool and it was fun. But yeah. But then the next day in the morning, we take her and we go to the vet, and we walk in, and she's on a leash, and she's sniffing everything and looking around. And then they say, okay, come down this way, and we walk down a hallway. And we're just sitting there in a room. Okay, this is getting harder. And we're sitting there in the room on the chair, and the next thing I know, the door opens, and they're telling us, everything's gonna be fine, just wait here for a minute. So we wait there, and then the next moment, everyone's starting to really feel it. I'm sitting there, I'm like about to cry, and everyone's really sad. And then the doctor walks in with this needle, and they fill it up with the liquid. And they said we could either stay in here and watch it, or we could wait outside until they say that it's over. Me wanting to be there by her side till the very end, I stayed in there. I'm pretty sure my stepmom left. And I can't remember if my dad was in there or not. I can't even remember. I'm not even sure if that's what happened, but I remember us all being there somewhat. Maybe we were all in there. I don't know. I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure we were actually all in there. And then, I see the shot go in, and that scared me. I didn't know what to do, and I started to freak out a little bit, but like I was containing myself. It was really weird. And at first she's fine. She's just standing there, and then all of a sudden she starts walking a little funny. And then she just starts, walking all over the room, and she's crossing her legs and tripping all over the place, and then she lays on her side on like a pillow. And I see her there, not moving. And then her eyes close, and they said that it was over and that they would take care of it. And then that's when a lot of and then that's when most of them started crying or being sad and stuff. But I remember that when I was there, I didn't cry. I was more mad than anything. I just lost my best friend. I didn't know what to do. I was just mad. I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do because she was always there with me, and then knowing that I would never, she would never be next to me again or anything like that, it really like changed the way I felt. But I just remember, freaking out and then leaving, and I was walking fast, and I was just mad. I wasn't crying. I wasn't doing anything. I was just crying, and I left. I walked out the door, and I was just waiting in the car. I was mad, and I went home, and I just sat there. I didn't know what to do. It sucked. So yeah, that was pretty hard. It's a lot more emotional saying it now. I never felt like that way before. I'm normally pretty good about it. I guess the fact that I'm actually talking about it and expressing it is causing me to act different. I wouldn't know because I've never done it. But yeah, that so that happened. I remember we would always get her these cool little things on Christmas. It's like a stocking, and it was full of dog toys, and it was really cool. And we would also get it for the cat, and it was really fun watching Callie, which is her name. I'm pretty sure I said that. I hope I did. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I didn't. And she loves to play with the cat all the time. It was really fun to get there and sit there and watch him play and do all these things. And Callie was always right next to my side. Like whenever I was at my dad's house, the one thing I was always able to remember was wherever I went, whenever I did anything, she was always there. She walked with me to, down the hallway. In the living room, she would sit next to me. If I was in the office, I'd have a second chair next to me just for her, and she would sit in that chair next to me for hours just with me, watching YouTube or something. It was really awesome. I would always look over at her, and she'd be sleeping or wagging her tail, something like that, and it was really cool, and I'll never forget that. And every night I would go to bed, and Callie, she would always jump up on the bed and lay next to me, and a few times I would get her to lay under the blankets and on a pillow right next to me. It was awesome, and those are the memories that I'll never forget, and yeah, so it was really nice. It was really cool, and she's something that will never be taken away from me, and because of her, dogs are my favorite animal ever. I will always want to have a dog in my life, because she was so special to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to do. I mean, if you guys would want me to do a follow-up video, I actually have some more stuff I could talk about and think of. I could try and think of more of the funnier moments and stuff that we've done. And I could also talk about the short time that I had with my other dog, which was a purebred German Shepherd. Really cool. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Stand by.